Hello there. For well over a week now, it's been extremely hot, particularly across the southeastern half of the Mediterranean. And that always runs the risk when we get those extreme heat conditions to sparking off some torrential thundery downpours. That's what we're likely to see, not just over the next couple of days across the southeastern Mediterranean, some of those becoming a little more extensive through the middle of the day across the Mediterranean generally. And they could be heavy, they could be with rumbles of thunder, and they may well lead to some localised flash flooding, something we need to bear in mind. We've seen results of that in the last couple of days across Turkey, but there's further showers to come on Tuesday. Similar story for Greece, the Balkans, for Italy, French Riviera, for central and southern Spain and Portugal as well. Now, by contrast, across the UK, France, Germany, the Low Countries, we're seeing some hot, dry, sunny weather. But over the next few days, particularly across parts of Germany and maybe into Poland, some of those sharp thundery downpours could break out here as well. So there they are on the graphics. And it's not going to be quite as warm across the UK as the weather front starts to push in from the Atlantic. So that's the story then into Europe. Let's take a look at some of our city forecasts. On the whole, there will be the risk of some showers across London and Paris through the next few days. Rome stays fine, settled and sunny with it. But it's fairly consistent across parts of Kiev and Athens, largely fine, dry and pleasant with it. Hello there. Despite there being a good deal of quiet weather in North America, there is still plenty to talk about. We've seen some stormy weather moving away from eastern Canada and that frontal system now sitting in the Atlantic. Behind it, high pressure building, and the temperatures are going to start to soar. In fact, in the desert southwest, we could see some extreme heat developing, and that may well just exacerbate the wildfire threat here. Further north and west, there are some sharper showers, but if we take a look at that in a little more detail, those showers will continue. And if we add on the temperature profile, you can see the difference that I'm talking about out to the north and west. So we've got these yellow tones, temperatures still above the average for this time of year and perhaps by a good 6 or 7 degrees. But the extreme heat really is away from that west coast of California down into that desert southwest. We could see 90 degrees, perhaps as high as 100 Fahrenheit over the next few days. A little more comfortable along that west coast, as I've already said, but those temperatures not too bad for Seattle at this time of year. Few sharp showers just to the east of the Great Lakes expected. A little bit of fair weather cloud here, but behind it, so you get into Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, the Carolinas, down into Florida, it's largely fine. It's largely settled. And with lots of sunshine, and the sunshine's quite strong at this time of year, those temperatures are set to respond. We're going to see temperatures into the 80s in terms of Fahrenheit in Atlanta, Georgia. That's the high 20s. Hello there. Let's take a look at the weather forecast then for South America. And it looks as though we're going to start to see a little more rain pushing into Argentina. You can see those shower clouds developing on the satellite picture, an area of low pressure just drifting that little bit further north. That means quieter conditions for the southern tip of Chile. It means some rain, some of it quite heavy across Argentina. We'll need to keep an eye on that one. The sharp showers still continue further north and west. In particular, they've been heavy across Venezuela, Colombia, and here we have seen some localised flooding in Colombia. Fine and settled across much of Brazil at the moment. The risk of a few isolated showers into Rio, we're not too concerned about that. And then as we head into Paraguay, Uruguay, a little bit of fair weather cloud. There's that rain I was talking about earlier. Quieter across the southern tip of Chile. A little bit of cloud around, but not causing too many issues. So we keep the rain going into Colombia. Buenos Aires could see some rain as well for the next few days, slowly improving as we move into the weekend. Now, Mexico and Central America has been fine with just a few scattered showers over the last few days. The real talking point has been through the Caribbean. It's been disappointing. And it looks as though, again, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic seeing the most extensive rainfall. And this could be an issue. This is now the third or fourth day in a row we've seen some pretty intense thundery downpours. Elsewhere, it looks largely fine, settled and sunny. Hello there. Let's take a look at the weather forecast then for Asia, where we've seen this weather front in recent days producing some very heavy rainfall across central China, Korean Peninsula and Japan. It's still yet to clear away, but it will do so. And then we're likely to see an improving weather story. But do expect some rain through Tuesday across Japan, as you can see, and that'll make for a disappointing feel into Tokyo with only 15 degrees. That rain, some of it quite intense. Improving story across Korean Peninsula, northern and central China. Shanghai starting to see some sunshine return, a scattering of showers in the wake of that front still into southern China. There will be some showers perhaps into Vietnam and into Thailand, but not as extensive as they have been. And generally speaking, the city forecast looks quite promising. There will be a little bit of rain towards the end of the week, returning to Bangkok. So let's take a look at Australia and New Zealand. In Australia, things are pretty quiet, not as hot as it has been in the southeast, but a good deal of dry weather in the offing here. A little bit more cloud and a breeze into Tasmania with the remnants of a frontal system here. But for the South Island of New Zealand, it's still pretty windy. And yes, there's some showery outbreaks of rain across the south. To the north, it stays largely fine and quiet for the time being. So let's take a look at the city forecast. More rain returns to Wellington after a brief respite. It stays pretty unsettled. Hello there. Not much change with the weather story across South Asia at the moment. Let's take a look in a little more detail. The satellite picture picking up the shower cloud, and you can see the most angry, lumpy looking cloud is across Bangladesh. That's where the sharpest, heaviest of the showers have been in recent days and weeks. We're also picking up some shower cloud across the south. And in fact, we'll see more enhanced showers through Sri Lanka, the Maldives and across that Kerala coastline over the next few days. Quite windy up into the far northwest. That could bring an issue with some lifted dust, some sandstorms expected here as well. So running further north, not quite as hot as it has been and the risk of a few showers, but across Kazakhstan, it's not as cold as it has been. Double digits returning here. There'll be a good slice of sunshine. Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, a few showers close to the borders. Quite breezy into Karachi, and then to Mumbai it'll be fine and settled. Then we start to see those showers just cropping up through the Kerala coastline down towards Sri Lanka. Northeastern states, a few isolated showers, at the heaviest and the widespread ones again still into Bangladesh, as we tend to get at this time of year. So we continue with the risk of some showers into Sri Lanka throughout this week, some of them quite heavy, possibly even thundery. The winds remain a feature into Karachi as well, so sandstorms never too far away. We'll need to keep a close eye on that. Top temperatures here of 35. Hello there. There's the potential for some stormy weather across the Middle East. More on that in just a moment. But let's start off in Africa, where I just want to point out that cloud up into the far northwest. Potential for some showers into Morocco and Algeria as we go through the next day or so. Also some rain into Cape Town. Welcome rain here. It's not going to last very long. By Wednesday, it will have eased away. And at the same time, we've still got those heavy rains that we've been talking about across parts of southern Somalia and into Kenya. And that's just going to exacerbate the flooding situation that we've got here, where hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced just recently due to the floods. It looks as though that rain will ease in Cape Town, and we'll see a return to some sunshine, though, over the next few days. The rain continues into Nairobi. Now, elsewhere, it looks as though we'll continue to see some heat, particularly across Khartoum, with temperatures into the mid-40s. But as I pointed out at the beginning of this broadcast, there's a potential for some storms coming in off the Levant coast. Georgia, northern Iraq, Iran could see some torrential thundery downpours. And with a lot of heavy rain in a short space of time, it may well lead to some localised flooding. Further south, it's a little more straightforward. Bit of a breeze running through Saudi, but not amounting to too much. It's hot, settled and sunny. But all the action really is up into the northwest. So we'll need to keep a close eye on that. Some of those showers may well arrive into Q8, but we're not expecting too much. Take care.